Topic is dynamic programming, and the algorithm what we are going to learn is Warshall algorithm. So we call the algorithm as Warshall. This algorithm and why it is used, and how the problem is solved by making use of a Warshall algorithm. So to start with, we see some theoretical parts. The first point, it is used to compute the transitive closure of a directed graph. So first thing what you have to remember is this algorithm is used to compute the transitive closure. Okay, what is transitive closure? We will see next. So first, keep in mind that this is used to compute the transitive closure of a directed graph. So directed graph. Let A is equal to Aij be the adjacency matrix of the directed graph. So what is that Aij? It means that A is a adjacency matrix. What is adjacency matrix? It contains the Boolean values, either 0 or 1. Okay, if there is an edge, then there will be a 1, and if there is no edge, then there will be a 0. So that is, we call it as adjacency matrix. Okay, now what is transitive closure? We will see. The transitive closure of a directed graph with n vertices can be defined as the n cross n Boolean matrix. So the input directed graph has n vertices, and transitive closure has n by n Boolean matrix. So even the adjacency matrix will have a n cross n matrix, isn't it? So it is a Boolean matrix T. So we represent a transitive closure by T is equal to Tij, in which the elements in the ith row and the jth column is 1 if there exists a non-trivial directed path. So in the difference between the adjacency matrix and transitive closure is, in adjacency matrix, uh, the cell ij, it will contain a 1 if there is an edge between I and j. Okay, whereas in a transitive closure, the cell ij will contain a 1 if there is a path between I and j. Okay, there is a difference between path and an edge. Okay, so likewise, you are filling the matrix T, that is transitive closure, which contains either ones or zeros, and wherever there is 1, it means that there is a path from vertex I to vertex j. Okay, so that is in simple. I will take one example in the next slide, and I will make you understand what is that transitive closure. So observe the given graph. So this is the graph given. There are 4 vertices and there are 4 edges, and all edges are directed edges, and hence it is a directed graph. And the corresponding adjacency matrix is this. What is adjacency matrix? So A to B, A to A, it is 0, because A to A there is no path, there is no edge, there is no self edge, and A to B it is 1, because from A to B there is an edge, and A to C there is no edge, A to D there is no edge. So from A there is only one edge, that is to B. Okay. Now let us see from B to A there is no edge, from B to B there is no edge, from B to C there is no edge, from B to D there is edge. Okay, there is only one. That means, so all first 3 entries of the row B is 0, and the last one B to D is 1. Okay, from C, starting from C there is no edge which reaches any of the vertices. Therefore, all the entries in the C is 0. Okay, and D, from D there is an edge to C and to A. So to A is 1, and to C is 1, and to B and D it is 0. So this is the transitive. So this is the adjacency matrix. Okay. Now, if you look at the next matrix, the rightmost matrix, so it is denoted by the symbol T, which means that it is transitive closure matrix. Okay, it is a transitive closure. Now, what it does? From A to A, there is a 1. It means that there is a path from A to A. Okay, not an edge, it is a path. So how there is a path from A to A? From A to B, B to D, and D to A. So this is a path. There exists a path from A to A. Therefore, it is 1. Okay, from A to B, whether there is a path? Yes, A to B there is a path. So there is a single edge. It can be considered as a path. From A to C, whether there is a path? From A to B, B to D, D to C. Yes, there is a path. Therefore, it is a 1. Okay, from A to D, is there a path? From A to D, yes, there is a path. Therefore, it is 1. Okay. Similarly, starting from B. From B to A, whether there is a path, it is B to D, D to A. Yes, there is a path. Okay. From B to B, whether there is a path, from B to D, D to A to B. Yes, there is a path, isn't it? From B to C, from B to C, whether there is a path, B to D, D to A. Yes, it is a 1. From B to D, check. From B to D, there is a single edge. It can be considered as a path. It is a 1. It is fine. Next, from C. From C, can you find any edge that emerges from C? There is no edge emerging from C. Therefore, it means that there cannot be any path that starts from C. Isn't it? From C to A, there is no path. C to B, there is no path. C to D, no path. And C to C also, no path. So, all values are zeros. Okay. Next, D. Starting from D. D to A, there is a path. Yes. D to B, there is a path. So, like this. D to A to B. Yes. From D to C, there is a path. Yes. From D to D to A to B, B to D, there is a path. That means all from D to all the vertices, there is path. Okay. So this matrix is called as transitive closure. Now we have filled this matrix by looking at the diagram. By looking at the diagram, we have come to know that there is a path. Okay. Now what Warshall algorithm does is, Warshall algorithm, it gives a procedure to obtain this transitive closure from a given adjacency matrix. The adjacency matrix is the input, and based on this input, the algorithm will generate this transitive closure. And for this, there is no need to look at the paths in the graph. So just the input for this algorithm is adjacency matrix. I hope this is understood. Okay. So from this matrix, this is the input, A is the input, and T will be the output of Warshall algorithm. Okay. Now let us see how this adjacency matrix is being converted into transitive closure, or how this adjacency matrix will get the output of transitive closure. Let us see in the next slides. So there are some of the rules. We have to understand these rules first. Okay. So in this, there are various steps, various stages of calculations we are performing, and each matrix, each matrix of each stage, it is numbered starting from R0. R is the number that is given for the matrix. So R0, starting from R0 till Rk minus 1. Starting from R0 to Rk minus 1. So what is this k? Let us see. This k is nothing but the number of vertices in the graph. Okay, that means what? In this example, there are 4 vertices. If there are 4 vertices, then what is the value of k? The value of k is 4. Okay. Now, if the value of k is 4, then how many stages this algorithm has to pass through? It has to start from R0. Next, it will pass to R1, R2, R3. Okay, R3. So likewise, it will continue. Finally, it will go to the last stage where the transitive closure is obtained, that is R4. So starting from R0 till R4. Okay, so it will continue, and totally 5 stages will be there. If the value of n is 4, totally 5 stages will be there, and at the end of the 5th stage, we will get the transitive closure. So first, rule number 1: if an element Rij is 1, if an element Rij, if any of the element of the matrix is 1 in Rk minus 1, that is in the previous step, in the previous stage, if the value of the matrix is is 1, then it remains 1 in the next step also. So this is one of the rule. Okay, I told that there are many stages. So in this example, there are 5 stages, starting from R0 till R5. There are 5 stages, and one by one we have to calculate. We have to calculate R0, we have to calculate R1, R2. Likewise, we have to calculate all the matrices. Okay, while calculating, if any of the cell contains a 1 in the previous step, then in the next step, that 1 remains as it is, no change in that. Okay, that is one of the rule. Fine. Second rule: if an element R of ij is 0, if in the other case, if it is 0, if the value is 0 in the previous step refers to Rk minus 1. Rk minus 1 means previous step. It is the previous step matrix. If it is 0, then it has to be changed to 1 if it has to be changed to 1 in RK means the current step, okay, or the next step, whichever. I will call it as current step. Okay, if the value of any cell is 0 in the previous step, it has to be changed to 1 in the current step RK, if and only if the element in its row I and the column k and the element in its row j and the row k are both ones. So this will be explained by showing a diagram for you. Okay, so we'll understand this. So what it tells, if it is a 0 in the previous step, then in the next step what you are supposed to do. So look at this diagram. So the left diagram is rk minus 1, that is the previous step, and the next rightmost right diagram is the rk, that is the current step. Now assume that there is a 1 here and there is also a 1 here. Okay, and this is k. The value of k, for example, let it be 2. The value of k is 2. So what it tells, what that previous point tells is, if I want to fill this, if I want, see, this is a 0. There is a 0 in the previous step. Now this has to be changed to 1 in the next step if and only if the corresponding row and the corresponding column that come in the kth row and the kth column respectively, if they are 1, then the result will be 1. Once again, so this 0 becomes a 1 in the next step only when in its corresponding column where the 0 is present and in its corresponding row, okay, this one, in kth row and kth column respectively. So there'll be many rows and many columns, but in which row we have to consider, that is in the kth row and the kth column. So if there is a 1, then the result becomes a 1. So just to keep in mind these things, two things. So first point is, if there is a 1 in the previous step, so it remains a 1 in the next step also, current step also. If there is a 0 in the previous step, then it becomes a 1 only if these two values are 1. Okay, we'll take one example and I'll make you understand. Just observe that there are 5 steps starting from R0 till R4. Okay, starting from R0. So next step is R1, R2, R3, R4. So likewise, the step goes. Okay. Now, uh, what is R0? R0 is nothing but the adjacency matrix. It is the initial matrix. So no calculation for the first step. R0 just contains the values of the adjacency matrix. There is no change in that. Okay. So this is one point that has to be made. Okay. The next step, how to fill the next matrix, let us see now. Okay, and write it like this. I will not put the brackets directly. I'll write the values. So please understand. While solving this in your book, you have to write the brackets, the matrix brackets that are to be surrounded. Okay, so that is important for this. Now the first step. So what I told, first step is R0. And what is R0? R0 is nothing but the adjacency matrix. So directly you write the adjacency matrix. I'll write adjacency matrix directly. It is given in the above diagram. 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So this is the initial step. There is nothing to compute here. Just look at the graph. Look at the graph. From that graph, write what is adjacency matrix, and whatever that is there in the adjacency matrix, just copy it to this matrix R0. This is the first step. Okay, I hope this is clear for you. Once you have written this step, the next, what you are supposed to do is, you have to mark the first row and the first column. So now the value of k, you are supposed to mark. So like this, you are supposed to mark the first row or first column and the first row. I'll take one more box and I'll mark it. So this has to be done like this. Okay. Now the value of k. See now one more thing to remember is in this matrix, the matrix starts from index number 1 and not from 0. Okay. This is column number 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is row number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. It is from 1 to n and not from 0 to n minus 1. Please remember the values of the rows and columns starts from 1 in this problem. Okay. Now the value of k is 1 now. So we have to write the next step. So next step is r of 1. I'll write like this. Now we have to fill the next matrix, that is R1. So how to fill the R1? So just follow the steps. So one simple step is, so now what this one tells, R1 tells that the value of k is 1. So please listen carefully. This R1 means that the value of k is 1. Okay, now, so whichever boxes I have marked with, so those the rows and column values will remain same even in the next step also. There will be no change in that. Therefore, directly you can write the values from the previous step directly. There is no changes. So this is the first thing. Second, since it belongs to the first column, so 0 remains as it is, no change in that. I'll come to the next one. So now we have to fill this position. Now look at what is the position. Look at what is the position of look at the position of the same in the previous matrix. It contains a 0, isn't it? So what the rule tells, if it contains a 1, if it contains a 1, then directly you can write it a 1 here. But there is a 0 now. Okay, now it becomes a 1 only when the corresponding column and the corresponding row in the marked row and columns, they are ones. Now in the corresponding row it is a 0, in the corresponding one it is a 1. So if they are both ones, then only you should mark it as 1. So now it is 1 and 0. So now this becomes 0. For this I will show one formula so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Yes, look at this algorithm. Focus on this line, the last line. Rk of ij, that means the current matrix what you are filling. So that is equal to Rk minus 1. That means the same position in the previous matrix. Example, you're going to fill this now. You're going to fill this place, the one which I have highlighted, and what is there in the same place in the previous step. Okay, you have to consider that. Or with, you have to do the or operation with Rk minus 1 I comma k and with Rk minus 1 k comma j. So what are these two values? These two values are nothing but the corresponding values in the same row and the same column. So there is 0 and there is 1. What you are supposed to do, you have to do the AND operation of these two. So AND operation of 1 and 0 is 0, isn't it? When it becomes 1, when the AND operation is 1, when both are ones. When both are ones, then it becomes 1. So that is what. And what the first part does, you are doing the OR operation. You are doing the OR operation with the first one. If the current value, if the current value here, if it is already a 1, then no need to check for the remaining. Because if it is a 1, since it is an OR operation, it remains 1 in the next step. The result is 1 itself. Okay. If this is 0, only then go for checking the corresponding row and column values of the corresponding k. I hope you understood. So now quickly I will fill this. Please follow. Still a few minutes is left. I'll try to continue soon, finish soon. Okay, now 0 is there here. This location we are considering. The same location is 0 here. So since it is a 0, corresponding 0, 1 has to be checked. So there is 0 and 1, it is 0. Therefore, the result is 0. Okay, next. So in this position, the previous position is 0 here. You have to check this previous position. So since it is a 0, corresponding row in the boxes, it is 0. Corresponding column in the box, it is also 0. Therefore, this value is 0. Next one. So the previous value in the matrix is 1. So if there is a 1, directly we write it as 1. There is no need to check any other things. Next. So since it comes in the first column, so there is a 0, directly you can copy it, because whatever comes in the boxes, it remains as it is in the next step. Next. There is a 0 in the previous step in the same location. So hence the corresponding value 0 and with 1 corresponding column. Corresponding row is 0, corresponding column is 1. So 1, 0, it is a 0. Next, this location. So previous in the previous matrix it was 0. So corresponding row 0 and 0. So it is a 0. Now previous location there is 0 here. So corresponding row is 0, corresponding column is 0. Therefore it is 0. Put the fourth row. So in the previous one, whatever value it is there, directly write it because it is in the box. It is in the box. So next, now look at this. This location I have to fill. In the previous one, there is a 0 here. So hence, you take the corresponding row, corresponding column. There is 1 now. So 0, 0 or with 1 and 1. So it becomes a 1. Next, in the previous matrix, there is a 1. Directly write 1. No need to check. So this location in the previous matrix, there is 0. If there is a 0, check the corresponding row and column. 1 and 0, it is a 0. So like this. I hope you are getting. This is the completion of the second step. Now move to the third step, that is R2. Now the value of k is 2. So what you observed here is, what is this value of k? Value of k is nothing but the value that you are considering for the row and the matrix, row and the column. Which row you are considering and which column you are considering. So you are considering first row and the first column because R is 1, k is 1. Okay. In the next one, so it is R of 2. R of 2 means it is k is equal to 2. So what you have to do, you have to consider the second row and the second column. So therefore, I will use the same boxes. And I will mark the rows and columns. So second row should be marked along with that second column. So like this, you are supposed to mark. Yeah. Now same thing continues. So we are supposed to fill the next matrix, that is R2, by looking at the previous one. So let us see. So in the same location, the first location, the previous one, there is a 0. Okay, now what you are supposed to do? Corresponding column, there is a 0. Corresponding row, there is a 1. So 1 and 0 is 0. Therefore, the result is 0. Okay, last 10 minutes left. I'll try to complete. Yeah. So in the previous location, there is a 1. So since it comes in the box, there is no need to change. Directly write it as it is. There is a 0 in the previous step. So since it is a 0, check the corresponding row and column. So corresponding row is 1, corresponding column is 0, it is a 0. In the previous one, there is a 0 here. Corresponding row and column, it contains 1. Therefore, 1 and 1 is 1. So the second column is within the box. Therefore, no changes in that. Write all the values directly. Okay. Now this one, this location, the previous one, there is a 0. Corresponding column and row contains 0. Just put 0. So here it comes under the boxed column. Therefore, directly write it. So third one, there is a 0. Corresponding row and column, it contains 0. Directly write 0. Sorry, 0 and 0 is 0. Next one, there is a 0 in the previous step. 0 corresponding row, corresponding column. 0, 1 and 0, it is 0. Fourth row. So directly you can see if there is a 1 in the previous step, you can directly write the values as 1 directly. Next, there is a 0 in the previous step. Therefore, corresponding column, corresponding row, it contains 1. Therefore, the result is 1. So that is the completion of R3. Now, sorry, R2. Now R3, we have to calculate R3. Now what is R3? R3 means K is equal to 3. Now what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to mark the third row and the third column. Simple. So I'll take this, mark the third row, and the third column. Okay. Now start. So there is a 0 in the previous step. 0. Corresponding values are 0 and 0. So I'll go fast. There is a 1 in the previous step in the same location. Directly write it as 1. 0 is in the box. Therefore directly write 0. No changes. There is a 1 in the previous step. Directly write 1. No changes in that. There is a 0 in the previous step. If there is a 0, check the corresponding row and column. There is 0. Therefore the value is 0. The corresponding, the previous matrix contains 0. So corresponding column and row also contains 0. Therefore it is 0. So it is within the box. Directly write 0. There is a 1 in the previous step. Directly write 1. No changes. Third row is within the box. Directly you can write all the values within the box to the next step. Last row contains 1 in the previous step. So 1 can be brought forward. So next one more 1. Next is one more 1. Next one more 1. Okay, this is the completion of the third step. Next fourth one. So R4 means K is equal to 4. K is equal to 4 means in the previous step you are supposed to mark the fourth row and the fourth column. Okay, and remember that the row number starts from 1 and not from 0. Okay, and the column number also starts from 1. It is column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. Similarly for rows. Now 0. There is a 0 here in the previous matrix for same position. So since there is a 0, what you are supposed to, you have to check the corresponding column and the rows. So corresponding column and rows has 1. 1 and 1 is 1. So it is 1. So in the previous matrix of the same position, there is a 1. Directly write a 1. And in the previous position, there is a 0. So corresponding row and corresponding column, it has 1. Therefore, the result is 1. In the previous one, there is 1. Directly write 1. So first row is finished. Second row. Similarly, second row. So there is a 0 in the previous matrix, same position. Therefore, corresponding column and row, there is a 1. Therefore, mark it as 1. In the previous position of the same, in the previous matrix of the same position, then there is a 0. So corresponding row and column contains 1. So mark it as 1. In the same position of the previous matrix, there is a 0. Corresponding column and rows, there is a 1. Therefore, it is 1. The previous position of this in the same position of the previous matrix, there is a 1. Directly can write it as 1. Okay. Coming to the third row. Coming to the third row, there is a 0 here in the previous matrix, same position. Therefore, corresponding row 0, corresponding column 1. 1 and 0 is 0. Therefore, it is a 0. Previous position, previous matrix, same position is 0. So 1 and with 0. So it is 0. Previous position, previous matrix, same position, there is a 0. So 1 and with 0, it is a 0. Previous one, 0 is in the box, in the column, therefore directly write it as 0. 1, the boxes, the values in the boxes, you can write it directly. Okay, so this is the last step. And how you come to know that it's the last step? So whatever the value of K, that should become equal to the number of vertices. Number of vertices is 4. Therefore, it is K is equal to 4 now. So this is the last step. So if there are 5 vertices in the graph, then you are supposed to do one more step till R5. Okay. So like this. Now how to check whether it is correct or not? So just I'll take the first diagram. If you compare the transitive closure that we have written, we have written this transitive closure directly by looking at the graph. By looking at the graph, we have written this closure, but this matrix that is calculated is, it is by making use of some algorithm, Warshall algorithm, and we have moved through many steps, 4 or 5 steps, and finally we got this matrix. So this matrix and this matrix is same. So this is what transitive closure we have got through the Warshall algorithm. I hope you understood this algorithm. Uh, so based on this algorithm, some more points, and we will finish this session. The same thing I have given this in a single diagram, so you can refer the PPT and you can check it how the values are obtained. Okay, so this is the this one algorithm, and if you look at the algorithm, the Warshall is the name of the algorithm. It takes a matrix, that is adjacency matrix, and the adjacency matrix indexes starts from 1 till n. So 1 till n. So both starting from 1 to n. Okay. I told that the rows and columns starts from 1, not from 0. Okay, what it does, it implements the Warshall algorithm for computing the transitive closure. What is the input? Input is the adjacency matrix. And what is the output? And what is the output? The transitive closure of the graph. Output is a transitive closure. Okay. So now what the first step does? So R0. What is R0? R0 is directly the adjacency matrix. Adjacency matrix, whatever you are writing from the graph, that itself is the R0. Okay. There is nothing to compute in the R0. So from the next step, what you are supposed to do is you have to put one for loop. There is the nested for loops. 3 for loops are there. Outer for loop is for is for k. Inner 2 for loops are for I and j. How this works? First, k is equal to 1. So k is equal to 1 means it is the second step, that is R1. When R is 1, so I ranges from 1 to n and j ranges from 1 to n. So while k is equal to 1, the entire matrix gets updated, and based on this formula it gets up. I have shown this formula for you, isn't it? Because R of k, current matrix, it is equal to the same value from the in the same position of the previous matrix, or with yeah. There was a network problem. Sorry for this. Today I'm facing too much of network issues here. Yeah. So based on this formula, r k minus 1 of I comma k and with r k minus 1 k of j k comma j. So we have seen this how to do this. That means it is the same corresponding row and the corresponding column. So these two, and you are doing the AND operation. And finally, what you are returning? You are returning Rn. What is Rn? It is the last matrix. It is, for example, R4. R4 contains the result. So that R4 is nothing but the transitive closure of the graph. So this is the algorithm for the Warshall problem. Okay.